Like many programming languages out there, VB6 also has loop control statements. In this article, you will learn about while loop. It helps in repeating a block of code until the loop is terminated. The general structure of while loop is given above. The condition is very important in the while loop because that is what decides when the loop will be terminated. The program loop through and add the value of I to sum, which is incremented by 1 at each iteration. Above is the output of the previous program. Loops are very important when you want to repeat some code block. In the previous example, we saw how while loop works. In this article, you will learn about do loop. There are two types of do loop in VB6 that you are going to see. In the example above, the do loop will check for condition before executing the code block. The loop is tested only after the code block is executed. This guarantees that the loop will be executed at least once. In a given example, we create a variable called sum and add a number to it repeatedly until the loop is terminated. The for loop is another simple loop structure. It is different from other loops like do loop and while loop. It specifies a range before the loop could start. For, keyword indicating the type of loop structure. Index, a variable that acts as an index for the loop. Start to end, values that indicates the start of the loop and end of the loop. Step, the integer value that indicates how much to increment the loop at each iteration. Default statements, some expressions or statements that the loop will execute at each iteration. Exit for, immediately exit the for loop. Next index, increment the loop index for next iteration. In this example, we will create an index for the loop and create a variable called sum. Each iteration we will add a value of 10 to the sum. It displays the results when the loop terminates. In the code above, the index is between 1 to 15 and each time it adds 10 to sum. After the loop is terminated, the total amount of sum is displayed using a message box.